Hey, we are here at Rockin' Pod 2023, What's Hot in the Strip Clubs podcast on Pantheon Podcast Network. We've got RiverGhost, the guys from RiverGhost here. We got Boots Robert and Cage DeVille. Boots is the guitarist, Cage is the vocalist. How you guys doing today, man?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. No problem, man. First of all, I like your Instagram message you guys sent back to us. I don't know which one who it was in the band that said it, but said something about you can't wait to get here and do some thongs. Thongs!
Yeah, that was Cage's work right there.
Oh, yeah. I'm the only one that wears the thongs in the family.
Well, you know what's great about Legally Blind at a strip club? You're allowed to touch because you're communicating through Braille, right?
That's
so
right.
you use your hands to
Tell that
communicate
to my
the
wife.
girls. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Well, that's one of my favorite pickup lines. Is there a message in Braille, on the T-shirt and stuff? So
it's a good excuse for touching.
Yeah. I mean, I used to work in strip clubs, and I'm not sure that really works, but sure, we'll give it a whirl.
It's worth a shot at least once.
That's right.
Sure. You can only get slapped once, and you've got a heck of a beard there for padding.
Like for boxing, they say he has a good beard. He can take a good punch, right?
It's the flavor saver.
Why do I have a feeling you could tell us some good strip club stories?
Oh, well, I mean, I hate to say it, I just have some good stories, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, before that, let's talk a little music. Now, you guys have that blues rock influence, a little Black Crowes, a little Rival Sons, a little, Black
GNR?
Keys in it, Guns N' Roses. So let's talk about the band. How long have you guys been together? I know you're from Nashville.
Yeah.
And how did you all get together?
Well, funny enough, I moved to town right before the pandemic, myself from New York City, and really just looking for a band situation like everybody in Nashville.
Okay.
And ran an ad through Craigslist of all places, primarily because on Facebook, where most people do traffic that stuff these days, they wouldn't let me on because I wasn't playing a cover band situation.
Okay.
So I wanted to do original stuff along the lines of what you guys just mentioned, actually. And I think we probably I listed most of those bands.
Me too.
And this cat answered the line. And,
Looking for a rock and roll guitar player.
That's
there you
right.
go.
Yeah, so that's basically how it happened. And then day one, we wrote. There's two songs that are available right now. Well, there's a bunch of songs available, but two of the songs that are available are "Fruit on the Vine" and "Bluebird" were the first two songs that we wrote together very first day. So it's really cool. "Dark Horse" is a great song. That was the third song that we wrote together, ironically. So, yeah, we just really hit it off well right off the bat, and we love all that like bluesy rock and roll stuff, and just wanted to carry kind of like a timeless sort of vibe.
And I'll say, man, your voice is very unique. I'm a former singer, but who are some of your influences vocally, just out of curiosity? Because you definitely really sound just like you, which is a huge thing.
I really, early on, kind of come from like, my dad brought me up on like the Beatles and Stones, but I also was like a Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, like soul singer. When I was a kid, I can remember like singing like the Jackson 5 for my grandparents.
Awesome.
They had like a little VHS of that stuff.
That's awesome.
And so I would mimic that stuff and put thumbtacks in my work boots and thought I was tapping on the hilarious, really. But yeah, so a lot of what I do comes from soul music first, Motown, well before my time, ironically. But then, British rock, it's particularly in the 90s, and stuff like, Oasis and Blur and all that sort of played a part in forming, I guess what would make us sound significantly different,
because like I said, you definitely have soul in your voice, but there's just something totally different about your delivery, about your timing. What I really love, you have some really unique timing on your vocal lines and your melody and when you come in. Let me go to Boots real quick. So guitar-wise, smoking guitar playing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you got it. It's killer. And so who are your influences? Again, because it's not as obvious as everyone thinks by the bands we listed.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Slash.
Okay.
Joe Perry, Jimmy Page.
Sure.
Growing up in Texas, there was a lot of country stuff, blues.
Yeah.
So all that stuff melded together, really.
Yeah, I think it's a great amalgam of sounds you guys have, and it's very unique for sure. For sure. Do you have an album coming out? You've been dropping singles. We've seen the stuff on Spotify. We listened to those.
Yeah.
But
well, I think we would love that to happen, but we're just living in that short attention span world.
Right.
So we've kind of been forced at this time anyway. But the goal is, at the end of the day, to do a whole record and do something like that really all melds together the things that we dig, So maybe some of the songs that you've already heard, but, just write with an album in mind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
in today's world, bands have to do so much of their own promotion, right? With social medias and so on and so forth, and rock having a smaller place in the market now, and with the singles driven because of algorithms on Spotify and short attention span, as you mentioned. So, what are you guys doing to really get yourself out there in a world where rock is sort of the underground thing now?
yeah,
A lot of this kind of stuff, doing interviews, trying to get on social media, getting that pumping. And then what we are really trying to do is play shows.
Right.
Not just in Nashville, but all over the region, really.
yeah. I mean, we're really fresh to this. A lot of people. I mean, of course, we've been playing as musicians forever.
Sure.
But as I mentioned earlier, we met before the whole world just shut down.
Sure.
And so we shut down kind of with it, and then wrote some songs. Then all of a sudden burst kind of out. We released the stuff last summer primarily.
Okay.
And then touring season was over. So here we are, like, back into that whole thing, which is really cool. And we're not the best at social media, but I think that one thing that I think is a thread for everybody that likes music is good songs last forever. They break through all of it, right? So just putting it in the hands of people, surprising people. It's funny, I wear these hats and stuff. Folks that are listening to us, I wear, these crazy hats and stuff. But I'll have somebody at the grocery store ask about the hat, and then it turns into a conversation about RiverGhost almost immediately.
That's awesome.
So what do? You can't wear a hat like that in bad groceries.
You must be in a band.
Yeah.
Right.
So and then it just kind of goes from there, and it turns into a lot of what we do. Like, we don't buy fans. We don't do any of that like crazy stuff that everybody does.
Right.
It's a one at a time thing.
Okay.
Literally, meet people. Come on onto our page, whether it's
Very
Facebook
organic.
or
Yeah.
And so we're not great at it because we don't soul suck.
One thing you can do is, if you have a younger brother, or if you have kids who know social media, pay them $8 an hour just to do posts for you once a day.
Yeah.
Kids ain't
Yeah.
charging for
That would
$8 an
help.
hour.
They're good at it.
That would help.
Look, I'm 50, and even promoting our show, we're good at it, but not as good as we should be.
Yeah.
Because it's not natural to go put it on social media. We're not.
Yeah.
So that might be a way around it for you.
Yeah.
And I do think. Go ahead, Danny.
Or you can hire strippers because they are the best at social media.
That's not a bad idea.
And honestly, I'll tell you what a lot of people
I'll
are
handle
doing.
that.
They're basically, if you get your songs out there and get them to start doing TikTok videos with your song
the
behind
background.
it, and they're dancing on it. I mean, because people, it doesn't matter what's playing. Somebody's dancing on a pole, they watch it. And that's one of the best ways to get music out there. That's one of our little tricks, too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll let you know. I know Dark Horse, when I first saw that, they did Dark Horse. Please tell me it's not a Katy Perry cover. Right. And then I was like, good. I was just really scared when I saw you recorded Dark Horse.
Yeah.
So I listened to that. I said, yeah. So I took that in. I got that in my library up at Diamonds Cabaret in Dayton, Ohio. So if you ever get up that way,
Nice.
your music is being played in the
All
strip
right.
club right
That's
now.
really
Dark Horse. That's the only one I've had a chance to download yet. But I will check the other ones out.
Yeah,
Ladies and
please.
gentlemen.
I mean, this is definitely strippable material, which is cool. I mean,
Strippable,
I
that's
do
a
it
new word.
Trippable, yeah.
Strippable.
I just tell you from experience, I'm stripping to that stuff all
Right now,
the time.
ladies, we don't have
Right.
camera right now, but trust us when I tell you, he is literally stripping right now. And
That's it.
He's a sexy man. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. He is. Soon, RiverGhost featuring Kanye West. Kanye called them. He said, we're going to cut Katie out. I like the rock version better. He's off his meds, so he's going to learn how to be a rock guy.
That's it. Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
And we'll take a sliver of whatever that guy's got.
Amen.
Yeah.
So one thing
0.5%.
One thing I wanted to ask you when I was doing some research on you guys, because I just heard about you guys 2 weeks ago, so I thought I want to learn about these guys, and I was looking at your social media, looking at your websites and things. I don't really see your individual names on anywhere. I see the band name. Are you? Is that on purpose that you are a group, you are a band, you are not a bunch of individuals?
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, to a fault sometimes, but we started the band, and folks do know who we are, but when we were putting the rest of in the rhythm section together, we spent a lot of time, and we've gone through some drummers and bass players.
It's like
and
Spinal
so on.
Tap. Yeah, been through a bunch of drummers.
Yeah, bunch of drummers, bass player, one other bass player.
Stonehenge.
Yeah.
The whole thing, our whole proposal to everybody that's come across our desk is we want it to be our band. It's not Cage's band, it's not Boots' band, it's RiverGhost.
Yeah.
Be part of a family, be part of something that, is the way that it should be, the way that rock and
Amen.
roll was.
We made a decision to not hire people.
Okay.
Yeah. And make it our band with hired guns.
Yeah,
and
Nashville's
make it
full of it.
Yeah. We wanted to be different in that way.
Yeah, that business model, I know guys who have been sidemen, and it sucks after a while.
Yeah, I've done it.
Especially when you've been with bands for 17 years, and they never include you in the songwriting, publishing, they won't even listen to your ideas. That gets soul-sucking.
Yeah, when I moved to Nashville, I was doing that. I was a side guy playing with country artists, and it was sucking my soul.
Yeah.
And I was looking at apartments back in Texas to move out when I saw his ad on Craigslist.
You're a lifesaver.
Yeah,
Dave.
nick
See?
of time.
See?
Yeah.
But that's how the universe works, man.
It
And now
is,
you have
yeah.
this great band. So you have so the other guys in the band are the drummer and bass player?
Drummer and bass, yeah.
So
Who are
it's
they?
a four-piece band.
Brian Carl is the new drummer.
Yeah, I was
There
going
you
to say they're really terrible players. They shouldn't be
And
we
our
love them.
buddy Craig
Really.
Alspo is playing bass.
No,
And
honestly,
hopefully,
the best part of the band.
yeah, hopefully this is the lineup that sticks.
Okay,
That's
good.
what we're hoping for.
Okay, good. So that's why. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the band, guys.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. And honestly, like Craig is a veteran of Nashville. He's a great bass player, and he really is the kind of guy that anchors everything down. He's just one of those cats. And Brian moved from New York, and as a session guy, he's played with Michael Wagner, and he's
Producer.
worked with Richie Blackmore, and some great bands and
Wow.
stuff. He's phenomenal
He's a
drummer.
powerhouse.
Wow.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
So we're just insanely lucky, but we're also, like you had mentioned, not doing what everybody else is doing. We want to just it's a nucleus. We're just trying to do our own thing. Nashville's not known for blues rock and roll. Nashville's not even,
Not for rock.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, no, there's a lot of metal. If you walk down,
okay.
here today, you'll see a lot of metal guys.
Yeah.
You won't see any country.
Right.
Right. But there's
Well, it's
very
Rockin'
few.
Pod.
Yeah.
Right. But there's very few bands, that play what we and do what we do, which is just sort of straightforward,
Blues rock.
Yeah, and stuff that would wind up in a club and wind up on somebody's radio, and multiple genres, which is cool.
I ask every young new band, write a song that is either about sex or stripping, and give it a nice bump and grind tempo, and then you'll be in the clubs. It's
Go
easy.
viral.
You know what I mean? No, but for real, I miss the days when rock bands wrote about sex and having fun, and what killed rock, in my opinion, grunge happened, right? It was the reaction to hair metal, right, and all that bling bling type of thing that now hip hop does and is making billions. But but rock became angsty, and then I got molested by my parents, and it's all dark and heavy. And it used to be rock shows were 50% women, 50% men.
Yeah.
Now you go to a rock show, it's 90% guys, 10% men.
That's true. Yeah.
And the crossover happens when you are able to appeal to women, let's be honest, of every genre of music. And that's where, if you want to make the big money, big time, sell stadiums out, arenas, you kind of have to do that to a certain extent.
It's very true. And a lot of what we do has an appeal. What we're finding is a lot of people in Europe are listening to our material. So we're really surprised and happy about that. It's like, oh shit, France is listening to us? Yeah. That's crazy. If you look at the heat map, it's really strange to see, Switzerland and Germany and, really places that you just would almost go that's strange, but they're listening to us, and, it's, and then it does change exactly what you said, the ratio of females in Europe particularly, is listening to, and I imagine that we would probably capture a lot more of that female vibe here if there was more of an introduction of our material to females. But
But how do you do that? You know, and there's definitely historically with rock, America is so trendy with trends. So the audience just goes with kind of where they're guided, corporately speaking. So they find hip hop and EDM and different genres, which I love all genres. And if you go overseas, like Mr. Big, who was just on a minute ago, when they play, if they played a tour here in America, they're probably playing theaters and whatnot. They go to Japan or Asia and they're playing arenas again, 15, 20,000 people strong.
That's right.
So the fan base is a little more loyal and a little more just true to what they want, I feel like, in other parts of the world than here.
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough to understand how to navigate that because honestly, being an American band and in the situation that we're in, and we know a couple of really swinging, players that were big time in the '80s and all kinds of fun stuff. And my vocal coach is a very famous singer,
That's awesome.
who's happens to be here today. But he's like, go to Europe, but it's going to be, Cage, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
That's
it's
the hard part.
crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, we'd be happy to do some shows with you guys, but it's going to cost. And it's like, oof. Start thinking
Yeah,
about
for a
it.
new band,
Get a
that's
business
tough.
loan.
Yeah. It's just like traveling to Europe is just so expensive now. It's like insane.
Yeah.
And traveling with equipment is insane.
You have to rent over
You'd
there.
have to
I think,
rent
is-
everything.
Yeah, you fly
Yeah.
there. A lot of bands now do the flyaway gigs, even in America, where they just bring the guitars and then all the amps are provided there. They pay for it.
Right.
They don't
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
So, well, look, I know we would love to talk to you more, but I know we have a time limit.
I just want to tell everybody this is Boots Roberts, Cage DeVille from RiverGhost. RiverGhost is one word, but the R and the G are capitalized. So make sure when you look for that, you find it the right place. RiverGhost, was it riverghost.com? Was that
It's
the website?
RiverGhostRock.com.
Rock.com.
And if you,
Socials.
we seem to be doing well with Instagram lately, so RiverGhost Rock on Instagram. But if you go to our website, there's links automatically to everything. So
Good.
awesome.
And your Instagram gave us a little plug, too, so we appreciate that
Yes.
as well. What's hot in the strip clubs? Hey,
Let's
by
keep
the way,
that going.
Yeah, Boots,
Absolutely.
Cage, RiverGhost, thank you so
thank
much.
y'all. Thanks
Enjoy
for
your
having
day at
us.
Rockin' Pod.
Stream their
Will
music,
do.
download their music, support artists.
Yes,
thank you. Have a great
Thanks,
one.
guys.
Thank you.